Welcome back. It is Tuesday, October 29th in the NBA. My four best bets are on the way. I really like the card we got cooked up. It is only a 4-game slate tonight, but I think we got some good winners in this video. As always, we start the video recapping how we did the previous day. It was a 3-2 day for us. We had Damian Lillard's over in points, sweat-free. The Evan Mobley and Jared Allen same-game parlay, each of them to get 10 and 6. Sweat-free. Day one of the ladder challenge, I'm tracking it in the NBA. Technically, the NBA was 2 of the 4 legs. We had an NFL and an MLB leg. I'll just track it in NBA since that was 2 of the 4 legs. Alex Verdugo, I appreciate you. A meaningless home run for that game, but meaningful for us. We needed that. Our losers, we had the Magic minus 6.5. What they win by 4 points. And then Şengün over in points. We took him at 16.5, and they took a small play at 20 plus. He had 12 points, 14 field goal attempts, got in foul trouble. Really would have hit if he didn't get into foul trouble, most likely, but he shot 5 for 14. So, like that read, those will eventually start going our way. Some foul troubles kind of burned us the last few days. But let's dive into the picks today. In this video, here's how the video is going to go. We're going to talk about 2 props. Then we're going to get to the new segment. Then I'm going to throw it to Logan for his favorite video pick of the day. And then we'll end with another prop and get on out of here. We'll start with the first one. I have nothing to promote. If you want to sign up for things, those things are deposit daily fantasy sports books or whatever. They're all down below, linked in the description. That sleeper offer is still good for a few more days. Luka Donic is my first play, over 28.5 points, minus 120 on Bet365. Luka and the Mavericks are on the road in Minnesota to take on the Timberwolves. I imagine Luka plays here. It is a back-to-back for the Mavericks. If he doesn't play, we obviously get our money back here. On paper, this isn't a great matchup for Luka Doncic, but the way they defend him, I think this is great for Luka, not great for his teammates. So while I think the Mavs might struggle to score here, and I think this might be a lower scoring game, I think Luka is the one that's going to have to do majority of the scoring because I don't like the matchup for Klay Thompson. I don't like the matchup as much for Kyrie Irving. They have a bunch of small, great perimeter guards they can throw on him like Anthony Edwards. I don't like that for him. I like this for Luka. Let's talk about this. Luka this season. The numbers have been, volume has been good, 28, 40, and 15 points. 15 last night, shot 5 for 22. I mean, 22, 25, and 25 field goal attempts, that's more than enough to get over this line. However, he just kind of has struggled. The efficiency hasn't been there. And you could argue maybe he's just not in the best of shape, or maybe he's just missing some shots that we're used to making. But the way the Timberwolves are going to defend Luka is going to be like, hey, we'll let Luka score, but no one else. They stay home on shooters. They don't give up a lot of catch and shoot opportunities, and that's good for us because we don't want the ball out of Luka's hands where it's dishing it to Klay Thompson or Kyrie Irving or PJ Washington. We want Luka Doncic firing up as many shots as possible. If he clanks them all, so be it. But we saw last year, 3 games versus Minnesota, he scored 33, 39, and 34 points. Same volume as what he's been attempting the first few games of the season, and the free throw attempts are there too. Look, they have Jaden McDaniels. He's probably the guy that guards him, but outside of that, you're going to have Rudy Gobert involved in a lot of defensive motion. If you remember that last year, that crazy shot in the playoffs, right? That was the playoffs over Rudy Gobert to win that one. But Rudy Gobert's going to play drop coverage. He's just not going to want to come out of the paint until Luka starts burning them. But I think they're going to live with it. Last year, the Timberwolves won most of these games against the Mavericks, despite Luka putting up big numbers. So that's kind of going to be their thing. Let him score as many as he wants until it gets maybe out of hand and he can't miss. Then maybe we'll throw some other defensive coverages at him. But based on what he's done this season, I don't think he'll probably get into the can't miss territory, but I think he shoots reasonably well tonight. And if you're concerned about a back-to-back, Luka's over in 5 of his last 9 on back-to-backs, scoring 25 or more in every single one. So I like Luka Doncic over in points. My next one is going to be a 1-unit combined play. It's going to be 2 separate wagers on the same player. Keegan Murray, over 2.5 made 3-pointers. I'm playing just 0.75 units on this at plus 105. Every book was at plus money. And then a quarter unit on Keegan to make 4 threes, which is plus 270 on Bet365. Most other books around 240 or so. I'm only doing 1 unit combined total here, as I am doing 1 unit on Luka. You could put more on this one, but it's a 3-pointer prop. I feel like if Keegan gets the 3, we'll still make some good money, even if he doesn't get the 4. I imagine if he makes 3, there's a good chance he makes 4. But this is why I like to kind of split this up into just 1 unit total combined, instead of like how we played Şengün yesterday, 1 unit on his regular points, then a quarter unit on a little bit of a higher line for him. I like Keegan. There's a chance he makes 5 tonight, which is plus 650. I'm not going to go too crazy there, but you can take it if you're looking for a long shot. I like Keegan to make 5 threes as well. So far this season, Keegan's 3-pointer hasn't been great. He made 5 in the first game against Minnesota, 2 for 7 against LA, 0 for 3 last night against Portland. They're also on a back-to-back here in Utah. A little bit of trouble the last 2 games. Kevin Huerter, I believe, has made 4 threes the last 2. So he's kind of been used as that spacer and been used in a lot of his actions because he's been making them. What happens if Kevin Huerter doesn't make them? I think, or maybe it's Keegan Murray's night. This could be one of those opportunities. Last night, obviously, Kevin Huerter had 18, Fox and DeRozan 20+. They didn't need Keegan Murray. But this season, this is a great matchup for him. The Jazz have allowed the most catch-and-shoot three-pointers in the NBA, 15 made per game, and the most attempts at 36. Keegan leads the Kings with 7.5 catch and shoot 3-point attempts per game. I put a little disclaimer down there. Doesn't include last night's game because NBA advanced stats takes a little bit of time to update their numbers, and we're recording this early in the morning. But still, the proof is in the pudding. Keegan Murray is going to lead this team in catch and shoot opportunities this season. It might not have been last night. Maybe it was Kevin Huerter. But on the season, that's what's happened the last few years. Keegan Murray is leading this team in catch and shoot opportunities. He did it last year. Imagine did it the year before. And they needed spacing out there, given DeRozan's not a great shooter, definitely not catch and shoot. And then Harrison Barnes, he's no longer there. So you have Domantas Sabonis, Fox, and DeRozan, 3 guys that aren't really catch and shoot guys. So you need Keegan and you need Kevin Huerter. Hopefully it's Keegan tonight. Keegan's last 6 games versus Utah, he's cooked them. Look at the numbers. He has made 3 threes in every single one of these games. He's made 6 or more in 3 of the 6. 4 or more in all 5 of the 6. Look, the volume's been crazy. And in the preseason, they played Utah, and he made 5 of his 11 threes. So the volume has been really, really good for Keegan Murray. Given how the Jazz play defense, it's typically trying to get the ball out of the ball handler's hands, or when you drive, converging and making you kick it out, and that leads to some open shots for guys like Keegan Murray. And we've seen in Keegan's last 30 games when he's attempted 7 or more threes, he's made 3 or more in 67%, so 20 of 30, and 4+ in 12 of 30. So, in more than half the games that he gets the 3, he also gets the 4, which is why I like the quarter unit sprinkle on the 4+. Keegan in his career, every single year, averaging about 6.5 3-point attempts per game, shoots about 35 to 40%. Could he attempt 8 threes tonight and not make them? Yeah, it could happen. But that's why I'm only doing 1 unit. Threes can be a little bit of a very, very high variance sort of prop market, which is why I'd like going for the 4+. Because if Keegan's hot, he could easily hit 4 or 5 tonight, and we'd look pretty smart. If he goes 0 for 8, so be it. We'll live with our results and take our 1 unit down the drain. I like Keegan Murray a lot for threes tonight. And then finally, we need to talk about the new segment. Yesterday, we hit our one with Mr. What's his name? Jamal Murray to score 15+ points. Today, it's going to be a 3-leg one, but it's 3 legs I just don't see losing. It's in the same game with the Kings. Here's the 3 legs. It is going to be Lauri Markkanen, 15+ points. Domantas Sabonis, 10 points and 8 rebounds. It's -292. Do I think this is great for a 1 unit bet? No. But we're going to be rolling over. We're going to try to turn $31 into a little over 41. People on Twitter hated this segment yesterday. I didn't expect. A lot of people on YouTube, which I appreciate you guys. You love the new segment. It's not meant to be something that you're putting your whole bankroll on. No, that's why I said a quarter unit, whatever that is to you. For me, that's $25, and I'll see where we can take it. I don't have an end goal. If we get to $100 and I want to cash out, we'll cash out and start again. I don't really know. We're going to see where it takes us, but I think it's a fun segment to kind of switch things up, and we'll see if this one can cash. I know the people on Twitter are going to hate this one. 3 legs for -300, but hey, I think this is a certified winner. If you look at the numbers, I'll bring up some numbers for you. Lauri Markkanen, 15+ points in 5 straight for Sacramento. He's coming off 2 really bad games. The Kings struggle versus catch and shoot just like the Jazz do. Lowry should get things going. I don't see him resting on a back-to-back, especially coming off a loss. I think he plays pretty well. And then Sabonis, 10 and 8. He normally spawns in with that. He has that in 7 straight. All of his games with the Kings against the Jazz, he's hit that. So I'm pretty confident he can get 10 and 8 rebounds. So hey, that's going to be part 2 of our segment. I'm not sure we'll have a ladder challenge today. Stay tuned for that. Again, I'll put up the numbers. This is assuming you did a -500 and you hit 20 straight in a row. You'd be at, minus or over $900, almost $1,000. I don't anticipate any of ours to be above -500. So our end goal, if we ended up, hitting 10 to 15 in a row, which I'm certainly confident we can do that, it would be a pretty insane number. So we'll see. Like I said, no end goal for it. Hopefully you still like the new segment. A lot of positive feedback yesterday on YouTube. Twitter, not the case. Those people attacked me. They were praying on Jamal Murray not to come through. But he did in overtime, and we appreciate him for that. Again, this is the one I'm rolling with today. Let's dive into Logan's favorite pick. I like it. It's going to be in one of the games I've already talked about. So, Logan, favorite pick of the day, what you got?
So for my best bet today, it's actually going to be a total, and it's going to be the Mavericks and Timberwolves. And I'm taking the under 224.5. That's where the line is when I'm recording this video. It might go up or down a point or two. but we know how NBA totals work. They normally close a little bit different than they open. This total, if you're looking at last year, because that's all the data we have between these two teams, the total went under this line in 3 of 4 matchups last season, which I kind of like to see. They're hopefully not going to be a 130, 120 type game. The Mavs games kind of are a little bit generous to betting unders because the totals typically close in the high 220s since they have the offensive star power. But, the Minnesota being a good defensive team kind of neutralizes that a little bit. We saw this Mavs team only score 102 against Phoenix, and Phoenix is definitely not as good of a defense as Minnesota. So we do like that for an under. So far, neither of these teams really have been lighting it up offensively. Dallas just 18th in points per game, Minnesota 19th in points per game. But Logan, they're so early in the season. I know it'll take time for some of these offenses to gel, to get into midseason form. Early in the season, we can take shots at under just because the shooting is not going to be as prime as it is later in the season. Neither team really is pushing the pace either. Dallas just 21st in pace, Minnesota 22nd in pace. 3-point shooting is really going to make or break a total. I mean, if they can't miss, they're going nuclear from 3. Your under's more likely cooked. If they clank it up, your under's in good shape. Both these two teams play good perimeter defense. Minnesota 4th in opponent 3-point percentage. Dallas is 9th. So you got 2 top 10 teams in defending the 3. Hopefully they can do a good job of limiting the 3-pointers in this game as well. And last point of note, Luka and Anthony Edwards, that's the star power in this matchup. We all already know that. But to me, it really comes down to these role players making shots. It's going to take a lot of Mavericks role players really being able to show up on the road against a good defensive team in Minnesota. I just don't really see that. Luka, he got his last year, 34 and 39 in 2 games against Minnesota, but both those matchups did go under. So again, Luka, Anthony Edwards, they can do their thing, but it really comes down to the role players. And if the role players aren't making shots, this one's going to stay under, and hopefully that's how it works for us. I really do like the under between the Mavs and Timberwolves as my best bet of the day. Austin, throwing it back to you, though.
Like I said, I like both these picks combined with Luka and the under. I think Luka's going to have to score. If Luka sucks, we should get our money back, hopefully, on the under. He's going to have to carry the offense tonight. And he hasn't been great this season, but I still think he can get to 30 points with the volume he's getting. But again, it should be a slow-paced game where Luka's kind of dribbling the air out of basketball. So I do like that under. Logan's got cooked up. He's due a winner. He's had some bad luck the last few. And then finally, my final pick of the day will be going to the Denver Nuggets game, as I'm taking Michael Porter Jr. over 13.5 points, minus 120 on DraftKings. I'd honestly place the 15.5. I had the notes and the write-up to do 20-plus points. I did. I was going to take the 20-plus. I just rather see a 1 unit for MPJ go through the hoop than try to get cute with another quarter unit on the 20-plus. But it does. If you want to go for a crazy parlay, do like Keegan Murray, 4 threes, and Michael Porter Jr., 20-plus points. I think that could hit. Now, there is a potential, as I'm recording this at 8:30 a.m., that someone on the Nuggets doesn't play tonight. Is it going to be Michael Porter Jr., a guy that played 81 games last year? Probably not. But could it be Jamal Murray, who did twist his ankle at the end of the game last night? Yes, I saw that. I was watching the game sweating. I was like, please, Jamal, I need 15. I'm going to get attacked on Twitter if this doesn't hit. And he twisted his ankle with 3 minutes to go, and he really didn't even bother trying to touch the basketball until he made a clutch, basically buzzer beater to send it to OT. Insanity. But could one of those guys get the rest day? I don't think Jokic will, but he always could. This season, MPJ hasn't been great. 15, 9, and 13 points. But if you take away those numbers and look at how many times he shot the ball, 17, 13, and 12 field goal attempts. For a guy that's shooting a lot of threes, to get a 13.5 line for a guy nearly attempting this number of shots, I'll take my chances there. Michael Porter Jr., we know he's better than a 20% from 3 kind of guy. He's 1 for 10 the last 3 games from 3. The volume is going to continue to be there. This is a Nuggets team that, if you watch them, you know they kind of suck. There's a reason Jokic has had to score 40 points the last 2 games. Jamal Murray's going to be, if he's playing, he's not going to be 100% tonight. They also don't play till Friday, which is why I think someone could get the day off. But they don't have shooting. Christian Brown, he can't shoot the ball to save his life. Jokic has been spamming threes because he's basically their second best shooter behind it. Maybe Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. is probably their best one. They need Michael Porter Jr. out there to space the floor, and I think he could easily come 3. Last year, MPJ averaged 18.8 points per game on back-to-backs, 12 total games. So he's pretty good. Also, in his last 5 games versus Brooklyn, 28, 23, 28, 9, and 15 points. He's only attempted 8 and 10 field goal attempts the last 2. I expect the volume to be a little bit better than that. And look, Michael Porter Jr., he's out there to score. He's not out there to play defense, grab rebounds, facilitate an offense. He's out to shoot the basketball. Last season, when he attempted 10 or more shots, he averaged 18.2 per game, going over this line in 75% of games. Look, I can't guarantee he gets 10 shots tonight, but they just don't have a lot of shooting and spacing out there. So he's needed to play a lot of minutes. Some guys could get some off nights because it is a back-to-back and they don't play until Friday, coming off a big win. They're playing the Nets. The Nets aren't a team that are great, although they did beat the Bucks here. But look, I think MPJ gets some opportunities here. Not the best matchup in the world. It's not like the Nets give up a ton of catch and shoot opportunities, but MPJ, they run plays for him. He's not afraid to shoot shots. He's never seen a shot he didn't like. Hopefully he knocks down some shots tonight. And I think he could easily score 20 plus points. So again, those are my favorite picks of the day. We got Luka's over in points, MPJ's over in points. We got Keegan Murray to hopefully make 3 and maybe 4 threes. And then Logan's pick with the under for just a quarter unit in the Mavs and Timberwolves game. And then we have day 2, part 2 of our segment, which is just that 15 points from Lowry and 10 and 8 from Sabonis. Let's hope we can cash another one and put the Twitter trolls in shambles. That's the goal today. And then we might have a ladder challenge later on today. I'm not calling it day 2. That is cursed. It'll be day 1, part 2. I'm tired of the day 2 curses. We're moving on. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.